this is for everyone. Please pick up actors who know their job, who know how to perform. Do not pick up influencers and people, who have a couple of million followers. With all due respects to them, that is completely different. That's a different field altogether. Making money at home, sitting with the camera in your hand, they must be fabulous in that. Lip syncing on songs, brilliant on that. But when you're an actor, taking your light, taking your position, taking your space, learning your lines, fighting against, kyunki suraj niche ja raha hai. There are people screaming behind you. The director's on your head. Fighting all that and performing, that's completely different.
GujaratiMidday.com is really excited that we are talking to you today. What's the story behind, being Prisha's dad? And tell us everything about your character.
I suppose a simple character of a man who has a beautiful family, has a loving wife, has 2 children, and he's totally in love with them. And they've had a great family together. And somewhere down the line, post 35-40, a midlife crisis, jo kabhi kabhi aati hai. So that is what the man goes through. And he feels that he's kind of getting pulled away from the family. And while that is happening, he ends up meeting a younger girl in his office who's working under him, and ends up having an affair where I suppose he believes that she brings in more love, she brings in more care, she brings more excitement, and the fact that she makes him feel younger. Because अगर आप episodes देखेंगे, उसमें 2-3 बार जब बीवी के साथ झगड़ा होता है, उसमें he does mention that, I feel younger with a girl because she is years younger to me and she makes me feel younger. So I suppose that's when the family starts falling apart. And he leaves everything and goes to the younger girl. And when he starts staying with the girl is when he realizes that their thinking, their thought process, unko kya chahiye, usko kya chahiye, is absolutely different. And he realizes his mistake.
So I want to ask you, what is your take on this whole thing called midlife crisis? And, after 40, it gets difficult and, relationship.
That is what people talk about. Again, I would like to mention, if your relationship with your spouse or your girlfriend or your partner is absolutely brilliant, then there is nothing to worry about. That will never come in. But yes, if things do come in, you need to sit down and talk. You need to work things out. And if things don't work out, it is always better that you guys, this is my personal belief, please move out and start living alone. Give yourself some space, some distance, try to work things out. And if things don't work out, then I think you should be, courageous enough to just go your separate ways without having any kind of animosity in your heart, in your system, because that will keep killing you.
If I ask you, as a man, what you have witnessed in your life, what you have seen around you, what would you say about, the fickle-mindedness in relationship nowadays? Aapki kya comment hogi?
I wouldn't say there is any kind of fickle-mindedness. मैं इस बात को simple तरीके से ये करूँगा कि अगर if I go back into a generation where my parents were, or if I go into a generation even before that, where I used to talk to my nani, my nani and my dadi. Now, these were women who were strong and independent, but they were financially not secure. They were dependent on their husbands. आपकी शादी एक जगह हो जाती है, you stay there and you hang on till the time you're dead. That's exactly what happened with my mother also. But when I saw my sister, she wanted to be independent. She wanted to be financially stable, which I initially, because I was brought up in an environment where women were not supposed to go out and work. But then suddenly my sister wanted to. So what I feel is now, because most of the women want to be independent, they want to make their own money. वो कहते हैं ना, कंधे से कंधा मिला के हम आदमी के साथ खड़ी रहना चाहती हैं. So when that happens, a lot of things happen in the way you think. So now today, when a woman thinks, अगर मैं बाहर काम कर सकती हूँ, तो घर में आके, why do I need to get into the kitchen? If I can go out and work and come back and work in the kitchen, so can the man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, every woman would agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. So that is where the change has come in. Today, I believe, I suppose a lot of women, if they were not working, they would be thinking in completely in a different way. Today, because they're working, everything has kind of changed. They want to be independent. They want to do things in their own way.
What is the role of man in this whole change that you are saying?
Again, that's what I'm saying. That all depends from a man to another man. For me, I'm okay with seeing my sister work. I'm okay with women working around me because I want them to work. Because that's the only way of living today. You can't expect somebody to sit back at home and take care of a house or a kitchen or children. That's completely not done.
You suggest that the new age moms should actually tell their sons to accept the independent woman that they'll be dealing with in future.
You need to understand, if they see their mothers working, then the boy, while he's growing up, he's seen his mother working. So for him, it'll be much more easier to accept a woman working. But if he's not seen his mother working, you need to understand, you wherever you're coming from, if you've seen your mother, she's been screamed upon, tum kuch nahi karti ho, there is no money that you're getting in. So that's something a child would imbibe automatically.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what he will take forward. And that's exactly what he will say to his wife. And if he ends up meeting somebody who is independent, making her own money, who does not take shit, so wahan pe ego clash ho gayi. So it depends on the child, how the bringing up. Now, it could be, your mother could be working, could not be working. You can change yourself. But again, the situations in life, how do you perceive a woman to be? How do you perceive your wife to be? How do you perceive your mother? How do you perceive your sister? How do you perceive women in general? इसके लिए तो आप बहुत लंबा डिस्कशन कर सकते हो.
Let's talk about men. वैसे तो मर्दों के बारे में बात कम ही होती है. ये मर्द बेचारे जो फिसल जाते हैं सुंदर लड़कियों पे, जो उसके लिए आप क्या कहेंगे?
Again, it all depends on the relationship that you're having with the person, your partner, your wife, your girlfriend, whatever. Obviously, there is something missing, and that is, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but what I'm saying is, if there is something missing in a relationship, it's not the right way of moving forward, but things tend to happen. Maybe what you're not getting with your partner, you would get from the other person. And when I'm saying this can happen vice versa also. You can't just say, okay, aadmi phisal jata hai. I've seen women also. They've had their relationships, they've gone out and they've had affairs. So it's both ways. Because there is something missing in the relationship, that is why any one partner or both the partners will move out and look for something better outside and not necessarily get that.
If someone comes to you for an advice that I am in a complicated relationship, Aman, I don't know how to deal with it. I have guilt also, I have anger also, I'm tempted also. What should I do? आप क्या advice देंगे?
If things are not working out with your partner, I very, very strongly recommend that you guys move out, start living separately for some time. That is very important. Because when you are together, you will keep hitting out at each other and things will not work out.
And so hitting out outside also.
Oh, yeah, of course. But I would advise that you please move out, live separately for some time. Clear your mind, get back together, talk it out. Certain things are very important in terms of what do you feel your problem is, and listen to the other person in front of you. Listening to the other person is very important. If you don't listen, it will never work out. Because you can end up committing the same mistake in the next one. So you need to talk to each other, live separately for some time. It's very important. Clear your mind, come back together, try to work things out. And if things are not working out, please do not hang on to it. That's the worst thing that you can do. Because wo jo cheez hai, wo badhti jayegi. If it's not getting cleared, it will convolute and it'll get very messy. And then, it'll blow up in your face one day. So move on, move on.
You know, people are watching, binge watching Roohaniyat, and what have you binge watched? आपने क्या देखा है बहुत ऐसे शिद्दत से कि बस आज तो ये शो खत्म करना ही है?
I think Hindi की बात करते हैं तो I've loved ये काली काली आंखें. That was one show which is absolutely brilliant. Apart from that, Netflix में, you know, there are huge, massive shows. The Queen's Gambit, The Umbrella Academy, Titans.
एंड आपने यू नो उस जमाने में काम किया है जब वो डेली टेलीविजन सीरियल्स एंड ये एंड वो एंड नाउ ओटीटी, आपने क्या डिफरेंस देखा है यू नो काम करने के तरीके में? क्या फर्क आया है इतने सालों में?
मेन फर्क आज का ये है in comparison to the world today is that we did not have any social networking sites at that time. I'm talking about Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. So today, I feel a lot of actors, because of their popularity on social networking sites, because they have millions of followers, they are being approached to be actors on television and in theater or in film or on OTT.
Social media influencers are getting a break.
That's the point. So they are influencers. That necessarily does not mean that they will be able to emote the way as actors do. And that's something that, which is I think everybody should realize that. But I suppose it's business. क्योंकि उसके 8 million follower हैं, तो चलो आप उसको कास्ट कर लो. और जब आप कास्ट कर लेते हो, सेट पे आपको मालूम पड़ता है कि क्या होने वाला. Because I've gone through that. I'm not going to name any influencers or any OTT platforms. I've faced that. I've gone through that. I mean, it's a criminal wastage of time. Please, this is for everyone. Please pick up actors who know their job, who know how to perform. Do not pick up influencers and people, you know, who have a couple of million followers. With all due respects to them, that is completely different. That's a different field altogether. Making money at home, sitting with the camera in your hand, they must be fabulous in that. Lip syncing on songs, brilliant on that. But when you're an actor, you know, taking your light, taking your position, taking your space, learning your lines, fighting against, kyunki suraj niche ja raha hai. There are people screaming behind you. The director's on your head. Fighting all that and performing, that's completely different. Or एक कमरे के अंदर अपना कैमरा लेके परफॉर्म करना, there is no comparison at all. So I request people, please pick up people who know the job. I've gone through hell on various sets with people because they've been influencers. They've come there and then nothing happens.
On this very strong note, I think I'll let you go. And before that, I would want you to tell our viewers that why should they watch Roohaniyat?
इसका exact comparison मैं बागबान से करूंगा. उतना बड़ा नहीं है, because the story has something for each and everyone in the family. You know, parents who are in their 40s and 50s, children who are there in their 20s, children who are teenagers, college going, a man having an affair outside, a woman trying to contain a family, two sisters, the love they have, the hate that they go through, college romance. My daughter Prisha, she's in love with somebody who's about 20, about just 5 years younger than me. So there's a crisscross of various relationships in Roohaniyat. So if you watch the show, I'm sure you would identify with at least one character for sure. So please watch that.
On that note, I'll let you go. Thank you. Thank you very much. It was lovely.
Thank you so much. Pleasure. Thank you so much.